with that, thanks very much. Monica, all yours.
Thank you very much, Farhan, and good afternoon, everyone. And I hope you are well today. We will start with the participation of President María Fernanda Espinosa in the COP24. She's now back, flying back to New York. But today she spoke in the opening of the UN Conference on Climate Change in Katowice, Poland. Global leaders, UN officials, and civil society representatives are gathering in Poland to finalize the Paris Agreement work program, the so-called Rulebook on how to implement, to finance, and of course measure climate action. In her address, the President of the General Assembly asked the question, what is stopping the world from taking the necessary action to stop climate change? Mrs. Espinosa invited participants to make Katowice the symbol of audacity, courage, and the place where the decisions are made to achieve results we all know have to be achieved if we are to meet the targets agreed in Paris. The PGA also said, and I quote, "We must do the right thing to build a safe and sustainable world for all today and for generations to come." She met the President of Poland, His Excellency Andrzej Duda, as well as several other heads of states and government and UN officials. Ms. Espinosa, as I said, left Katowice, and she will be in New York later today, this evening. The PGA also recorded a video to mark the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. The message was shown this morning at the special event, empowering persons with disabilities and ensuring inclusiveness and equality, which is also the theme for this year. The UN says that the world has over 1 billion people living with some form type of disability, and about 80% of the people with disabilities live in developing countries. Ms. María Fernanda Espinosa recalls that, regrettably, millions of persons with disabilities continue to face adverse environments, situations in which they are excluded, stigmatized, and discriminated. You will remember that Ms. Espinosa launched the Steering Committee on Accessibility with the participation of member states, civil society organizations, and of course, the Secretariat. In her video message today, she invited all participants to redouble their political commitment with people with disabilities to empower them and to promote their inclusion in the society. Mrs. Espinosa recalls that a world which fully includes people with disabilities will be certainly a more human and fairer world. And on the agenda yesterday and today, yesterday, President Espinosa visited the Auschwitz-Birkenau Memorial and Museum to pay tribute to Holocaust victims. In a tweet, she said, "Atrocities committed here are hard to reconcile. Anti-Semitism and discrimination can never be allowed to flourish." She has granted interviews to several media outlets, including AFP, NHK, EFE, and Deutsche Welle. The PGA also met His Royal Highness the Grand Duke Henry of Luxembourg, and she met representatives of the Group of Latin America and the Caribbean, GRULAC, the President of Nepal, Her Excellency Bidya Devi Bhandari, and held separate meetings with young people, young students, and also indigenous people. And finally, you are all invited tomorrow at 11 a.m., Tuesday, 4th of December, in front of the PGA's office to a stakeout. We will launch the global campaign against plastic pollution. The PGA and the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, His Excellency Gaston Brown, will be there, as well as the Deputy Permanent Representative of Norway, Mary Scoria, will be there to answer your questions. And this is all from us today. Do you have any questions? Okay, I've got Joe here, and afterwards back, and then Carol, of course.
Yes.
Let's start with Joe. Let's go.
Can you now confirm whether the PGA has received a letter from the Hamas political head, I believe, was his title, criticizing the U.S.-sponsored resolution condemning Hamas? And also, could you speak to the scheduling, if that's been determined yet, of discussion and vote on the U.S.-sponsored resolution
Okay, Joe.
condemning Hamas?
Thank you for your question, first of all. The PGA's office has not received any letter, I can confirm. And also, in regard with the schedule, on Saturday evening, we all have been informed that the meeting will be held on Thursday, 6th of December, at 3 p.m. at the GA Hall. Thank you. Yeah, please. And I will go back to you. Please.
It was scheduled for Monday first, the voting on...
Who is speaking? Sorry. Oh, you are. Oh, sorry.
Right?
My glasses.
I think it was me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it was scheduled on Monday. We heard last week, and how? I mean, why was it postponed till Thursday? Under what procedure? And what's the format of the meeting on Thursday? Is it going to be? What's the format?
The meeting will be held on Thursday at 3 p.m., 6th of December. It is in the journal as well. I don't have any information about any schedule on Monday. The schedule is for Thursday, 3 p.m. at the J Hall. And I don't have any further information on the format of the meeting, but I am sure it will be announced in the beginning. Now, you have your mic. Go ahead. Thank you.
George Baumgarten, correspondent for Jewish newspapers and other media. Do you have any further details of the PGA's visit to Auschwitz-Birkenau? And do you have, in particular, is it possible to get, or by exchange with her or something, some of her impressions there? I should tell you, I have been there some years ago, and it was a life-changing experience, although I certainly was not ignorant of Holocaust history prior to that.
Yeah. Yeah, this was in her schedule. It was important for her to pay a visit and also to lay a wreath there in tribute to the memory of the people who died in that particular place. And I'm sure we'll get more when she comes back. But there are actually two tweets and also a tweet from the Auschwitz-Birkenau Memorial Museum, which has more information, and they retweeted the PGA. So you have more information there. Yeah. Yes. And also she'll be back in the office tomorrow, actually. Today she'll be back to New York. Okay, I have Dr. Abadi here, and then Carol. Yeah, Carol, go ahead. I noticed you, Hamid. Okay.
Monica, on Friday, the U.S. mission put out a statement saying that they wanted to vote on the Hamas resolution on Monday, but they said the Palestinians had resorted to what they call delaying tactics. Were there any delaying tactics from the Palestinians?
The meeting has been scheduled for Thursday, 3 p.m. It is in the journal. I don't have any information about any other pre-scheduling, but I would refer you to the mission in question that you said made the statement. Yes. Mr. Abadi, and then Hamid.
Thank you, Monica. I would like to ask you the same question I asked Farhan. Was this meeting in September on climate change anticipated in the program of the General Assembly? If not, under what mandate is it coming under? Were there consultations with member states regarding this and consultation with the President of the General Assembly?
Okay, the meeting on the summit, actually, announced by the SG, I would refer you to the spokesperson to the SGs, but you are aware that environmental action is one of the priorities of the PGAs, and this is a very important theme for us. When I say this year, of course, until September 2019. And one of the first actions in regard with these priorities, of course, the campaign against plastic pollution, which will be launched tomorrow with the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, as we noticed, but also with the support of Norway. And I think this is a campaign that lies very much in the heart of the PGA's that we all of us, not only member states, as you just mentioned, but all of us have a role to play against plastic pollution, to improve environmental action everywhere as responsible consumers. So I would really invite you all to come tomorrow at 11 a.m. There will be 2-minute statements by the 3 representatives of the PGA, Norway, and Antigua and Barbuda, and we will dedicate this stakeout fully to your questions, because this is an important step that we are making here in this presidency as well. But thank you. Hamid.
Thank you, Monica. Back to this draft resolution sponsored by the U.S. on Hamas, scheduled for a vote on Thursday. Would it require a simple majority or 2/3 majority to be considered a GA resolution?
Okay. The modalities are to be decided, of course, by member states. You will remember that with the recent votes that we had actually on Cuba, it was decided as well. So I don't have more information on this, and as soon as I have, I will let you know. As we said, the meeting will be on Thursday, and in regard with the modality, in regard with other questions that you may have, I will look into it and try to bring it tomorrow, if we have this answer by tomorrow. But I will let you know as soon as possible. And some of you got apologies, an email on Saturday evening. As soon as I heard that the meeting was scheduled, I sent to some of you who asked before. And as I said, I mean, as soon as I get the information, I'll let you know. Okay, anyone? Yes, Joe, go ahead.
Yes, it's a follow-up to that question. I understand amendments procedurally can be required to have a 2/3 vote, but outside of that, just normal General Assembly resolutions, isn't the prevailing rule majority vote? Actually, of those present, I mean that's the normal procedure. So what is the process for overriding that normal procedure?
No, we're not talking about overwriting anything. We're not even talking about the modality, because I don't have the information on the modality. But I am sure as soon as we have more information, I will share with you. And if you are particularly interested in any further detail, let me know. I mean, you guys have my email, and as soon as I hear something, I will let you know. But thank you for today. Yeah, Mr. Abadi, you have the last...
Thank you, Monica.
The last
The
word.
president of the GA put a question: what is preventing the states from taking action regarding climate change? What is her answer to her own question?
I think that's the question she puts to the participants, and it's a collective reflection now, and I hope we have this answer very quickly, because she meant what she asked. What's stopping the world to prevent the efficient tackling of climate change.
But what's her answer to her own question?
I think the PJ has been very clear that there is no time to lose anymore. That the Paris Agreement is, and she said that repeatedly in interviews, and also to some of you who asked last time, is not enough. So we should not sit down and think that things are settled and sorted out, because they are not. And we have to accelerate action. This has been her appeal and her statements, and she has been very consistent about it. And once again, she did that in Katowice. But thank you, and I see you. Oh, Linda, okay. It's a very productive Monday. Go ahead.
Thank you,
Yes.
Monica. Short question.
It's okay.
Are the resolutions dealing with human rights, denouncing human rights in Myanmar, Iran, North Korea, etc., are those still scheduled for the week of the 10th?
I have the date I have, and it hasn't changed according to our focal points in the third committee. It's the 17th of December. Yes. Thank you very much, everybody. Lovely to see you, and I wish you a wonderful week. Thank you.